Good evening and welcome into a Fox 54 Sports Extra digital exclusive. I'm here with Darrion Gray of Locked On HBCU. Darrion, thank you for joining us. Time to talk about the new man on the hill, Sam Shade.
I appreciate you. I'm really excited about this hire. Personally, I know I heard you guys' coverage and I heard Mo talk about how he called it and you talked about how Mo called it. I think it's the right hire. I loved it personally.
I will give him total credit on it. I think I didn't see him the day that it was announced that Connell wasn't returning. I think I saw him the very next day, and the very first name that came out of his mouth was Sam Shade, and how it made so much sense. It seems like you think it makes a ton of sense. Can you tell me about why?
Yeah, so I think that it may have been you that tweeted it out about the criteria that Alabama A&M is attempting to follow in this. He coached at Miles College, which means he already has the pipeline in the state of Alabama. I think that he comes in with a winning resume. I love the fact that he won a playoff game on the Division II level. It's one thing to make it there. That showcases success, yes. But then to win a game in the playoffs, I think that meant even more. So it tells me that he's ready to build this program further. Pipeline in the state, head coaching resume, and the pipeline goes beyond Miles, but pipeline in the state regardless. He has a coaching resume that is a championship winner, and then also a playoff game winner. Give that to me any day of the week.
Absolutely. And you mentioned the criteria that the boxes to check that athletic director Dr. Paul Bryant kept saying. It was played in college, played professionally, coached in high school and in college, HBCU coaching experience, and the ability to recruit in Alabama. Let's specifically talk about that last one. He played at the University of Alabama. He's a Birmingham native. Of course, he coached at Miles. He also coached at Samford. That was his first college gig. And then also he's coached high school football in this state, won a state championship with Pinson Valley. How important do you think those past experiences are going to be for him to bring the best possible talent to the Hill?
So I'll shamelessly plug myself, but on Wednesday's episode, I spoke about this criteria. It was my second segment of the show, and I love the aspect of coaching on high school. It's such a bonus to me. It's not everything. Coaching on the collegiate ranks is more than enough for Darrion. I'll say that. But having that experience in high school, it enhances your ability to recruit, in my opinion. You know how guys of that age think. You know what they're looking for. You have a relationship with many of them. I love that. Having the college experience tells you that you know exactly what the rules are in college, whether that's eligibility, whether that's scholarships, how to maneuver with them. I think, in my opinion, of all the criteria, it's combined, which I thought was weird. I thought it just would have been 7 different criteria points, but whatever. High school and college is the biggest one. It was my number one, followed by recruiting in number 2, and it was a very close number 2.
I think my biggest takeaway, and I did tweet out about this. Um, I was so taken aback by Coach Shade's seriousness, his matter of factness. Don't get me wrong, friendly guy. His matter of factness, though, and just the fact that he wasn't afraid to completely lean into the importance of winning the Mag City Classic. That really has stuck with me as we've moved on past yesterday's introduction. Would you say that's a good way to describe him? Just an utterly serious guy that's all about football?
Yeah, I think to a degree. I wouldn't say utterly serious because
Mhm.
to a degree I saw the fun too,
Yeah.
which was funny. Like even his motto of the chase
Mhm.
and the idea of I want to change the way I say it so that it matches what my players say. And you're like, oh, ha ha ha, right, right. But then he gets really serious and says, but it's also an acronym for our core values. This is what D means: ACHASE. And it's those things where you're giving a serious speech, but then you add little elements of humor. I think we've all tried to do it in regular life. For him to step up and address the fans, the media, and to do it in a moment like that, it was great. I think that, and I said this, funny enough, Sam Shade has been a common topic on the
Yeah.
show.
Yeah.
Please, if you're an Alabama A&M fan, do not be disturbed by seeing someone else on the thumbnail. I have 3 segments every show, right? Like I have 3 segments every show. You should check it out, read the description, if nothing else. But Sam Shade has been a common topic. And one of the things I talked about with him is that he just seems way less playful than Connell Maynard.
Hmm.
And Alabama A&M, in my opinion, needed something new. Playful does not mean bad. For all of the Maynard fans out there, this is not an insult to him. He was just more playful. That does not appear to be Shade's style. You can win and be playful. Alabama A&M just didn't do it. So it is possible to do. I think they needed something new, though. And I think that Sam Shade provides that. I love it. I am, if you pay attention to social media, you'll see people really rallying around and seeing the change at Alabama A&M, predicting it. I have a good feeling about this. This feels Chennis Berry like, and I'm scared to say that because Berry won in his first year. That might not be Shade's path, but it does feel Chennis Berry like, where he's here to establish a new culture.
I was going to eventually wind to that the juxtaposition between the last era with Connell Maynard and the new era with Sam Shade. Total disclaimer: I loved Connell Maynard as a
Yeah.
media guy in this town. I thought he was great. I've been doing media for about 5 years. This is my second job, different parts of the country, and Connell Maynard might be my favorite coach I've ever covered. I thought he was great, but you would agree that this seems like this was a like it was on purpose that they went with a different demeanor change as their next head coach.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me if that was something that they looked for. It genuinely wouldn't. I can't say with full confidence that it was a purposeful decision or if they just happened to luck up into it. I don't know, because to a degree, Sam Shade just seemed like the choice. I know Ed Reed was there. He was a conversation piece, and that was a little surprising to me. But when
Mhm.
Alabama A&M was available, I thought Sam Shade too. It just made the most sense with him already being in the state. I thought that he was in line for a coaching opportunity at some point. Didn't know when that point would be, but Alabama A&M being available this year, I think they made the right choice in scooping him up right now. So, to get directly to your question, I don't know if it's a purposeful decision, but it is a noticeable shift.
I think you brought up something that could be a real interesting side topic for us here. The idea of the celebrity hire in HBCU athletics. Now, obviously, we saw with Deion Sanders, it worked at Jackson State. Um, do you think that that is going to be a path that more and more teams are going to go down? Obviously, Ed Reed's a specific example where he was at Bethune-Cookman. They
Right.
decided to go another direction after just a few days. But do you see that as being a possibility? And why do you think that A&M wouldn't have gone down that route if it was sort of a trendy name out there?
I think that they just like Sam Shade more. I
Yeah.
think they talked to both guys and decided that Sam Shade was the guy. And if we're being honest, if we're using these 6 boxes, Ed Reed doesn't check a lot of them. Like, he doesn't check the recruiting in Alabama. We'll have to see, but I would say he doesn't right now. He would have to prove that. Sam Shade doesn't have to prove it to anybody because he's done it at Miles. He hasn't coached on a high school collegiate rank, so he doesn't check that either. And he doesn't check HBCU coaching. That's a potential 3 out of 6 boxes that you don't check. So if you ask why they didn't go that route, I would assume he just didn't check enough of their boxes. Um, Broadly, I don't know. I don't know if more people are going to do it. Yes, there's going to be a couple more who do it. It's not going to go away, but is it going to become common? I don't necessarily think that it is. This offseason, we had more Division II coaches move up to the FCS ranks. We had Sean Gibbs at A&T, Tremaine Jackson at Prairie View A&M, and then obviously Sam Shade to Alabama A&M. We had more D2 to FCS players or coaches than we did NFL to HBCU. We had Vic, and then we had Jackson. We're still looking to see what Valley does. Maybe Valley evens it out. Who knows? But to me, I don't think that is going to be a common trend. I just think you're going to see some people do it. And we all want to see. And also, let's not forget Eddie George. Let's not also forget Eddie
Oh,
George at
that's true.
Tennessee State, because he's done a really good job. And I don't think he gets talked about enough for a variety of reasons. But I do want to make sure I mention him because he's doing it exceptionally.
I'll tell you what, me and my coworker Simon, we were watching that Tennessee State playoff game. It was after the Iron Bowl, and I mean we were fascinated at the idea of what if he pulls this off, because it was feeling like a possibility there. So you're right, he's got things moving in Nashville, which is really exciting to see. So let's now go back to the general feeling, because that was a fun little rabbit hole we went down for sure. But let's return a little closer to Sam Shade. You said that this just feels Right. Can we talk about that? Like, why do you feel like the feeling is so positive around this hire?
And not to be going backwards again, but we speak about the celebrity coaches. Where did that stem from? It stemmed from Deion Sanders. It stemmed from somebody seeing something that we felt was going to work, even though it didn't work that spring season. I think Eddie George was hired before Deion Sanders saw any success. But the idea of Deion Sanders, that's the reason that people want to do this, right? I think we can all agree with that. It's a copycat league. Chennis Berry just came in from from Benedict College to South Carolina State. What is that? That is an upgrade as far as subdivision, but it's staying within the same area. It's the exact same thing that Sam Shade is doing. So when you ask why does it make sense? Because I just saw it work at an exceptional level, and it's a copycat league. The same way people want to copycat Deion Sanders, I think we're going to see people copycat Chennis Berry. And don't let Sam Shade have some success. We're going to start seeing these Division II coaches who have inroads in the state, who have been recruiting. You want to talk about under the radar talent going to HBCUs? How about you make that Division II HBCUs, and then you'll really see under the radar. So Division II coaches know how to find diamonds in the rough. It's logical as you're talking about geography to me. It's logical when you're talking about quality of coach to me. I just think Sam Shade is a really good coach, and him being in Alabama was the perfect connection to Alabama A&M.
Being in this state, there's really no better region inside the state to have experience in than Birmingham. Birmingham, Mobile, um, so much talent coming out of those areas. So that's going to be really exciting to see. So now moving forward, he's had his introduction. But more than 24 hours have passed since then. What do you think the first 100 days need to look like for Sam Shade to get this program trending in the right direction?
You have National Signing Day coming up soon, so you want to make sure that you do something that gets people excited there. I want to bring in a quarterback. I want to bring in a quarterback that generates some sort of excitement. This is what I'll say. If I can walk out of spring practice feeling like that quarterback that I recruited feels good to me, I'll be happy, because I haven't been a fan of how the quarterback position has gone. And that's the hot potato nature of who's starting. I've hated it. I've talked about how much I didn't like that. But if I can walk out of spring practice and feel like I have my quarterback, or at least I have one or two who are going to be talented for me, that I can compete and have one by the end of fall practice, then I'll be happy. Then I'll be happy. That's what I'm looking for in the first 100 days, because the first 100 days wouldn't make it to the season, right? Yeah, no, it wouldn't make it to the season. So give me a good quarterback.
I'm gonna put you on the spot a little bit here. It has felt like for the last couple of years that the SWAC East has been unwinnable for Alabama A&M. Obviously, you had Deion Sanders for a few years with his run. Then you had Willie Simmons there with his run. It's felt like, and now obviously TC's got those guys moving again towards championships with a Celebration Bowl division title and SWAC championship. Does a hire like this make you feel like it might not be so far away for A&M to be competing again for division, conference, and Celebration Bowl titles?
I don't know. I can't pick
I told
against.
you on the spot.
I know I can't. No, I do know, and it doesn't listen. It's not about Alabama A&M, and
Mhm.
sometimes it's just not about you,
Oh,
right? It's about Jackson State.
yeah.
And I can't predict 2 years into the future. I don't know. We haven't seen Sam Shade's recruiting class. That's too much for a coach right now to predict beyond this year. But I'll say this: I can't pick against JSU in 2025. I just can't. And I don't care who it is. I like once we get past spring practice, maybe I'll change my tune. Who knows? But as we sit here in the beginning of the year, right, fresh off of a Celebration Bowl victory, knowing all of the pieces that they're bringing back, it's not about you, Alabama A&M. I just think Jackson State is the clear favorite to come out the SWAC, not just the SWAC East.
So with that being said, do you think that this is a rebuilding project at A&M, or is it truly just you have who you have in your division, and that's going to be sort of a tough road to go down for a couple of years until you get your guys in the right spot?
Um, I say it's a rebuilding. I would say that. I think that Sam Shade is a good leader. I think that he can get you together in a couple of years. Let's. This is the progression. Right now, Alabama A&M is not competitive in the division, and they haven't been for the last couple of years. We need to see them get past Alabama State. right? Let's be better than the fourth best team in the division. Let's try to be 2, 3, and then we can talk about winning. Then we can talk about being number 1. So I'd say rebuilding, but in college football, things change so fast. A rebuild can take 2 years.
If anyone could do it, though, I'm gonna sound a little biased. If anyone could do it, maybe it's Shade. I mean, one win at Miles to 2 years later an SIAC championship. You never know. That was Darrion Gray with Locked On HBCU. Thanks so much for joining us, Darrion, for this really, really awesome discussion a day after Sam Shade was introduced on the Hill.